So one key to protecting your kid is actually to get involved at school. And I don't want to get into a debate about homeschool and public school right now. There can be advantages to each. I was brought up in a public school, but I can see some advantages to homeschooling. And I had an interesting chat with Dad Jeff Kirk, 2012 Colorado Dad of the Year. And I want to share his story about how he got involved at school and what it did for him.
There's actually a number of reasons that dads don't get involved at schools. Sometimes they think that it's the mom's place. Other times they had a bad experience when they were in school, so they certainly don't want to be back there. And a lot of the dads I've talked to, they really are uncomfortable when they go into the school because, well, school's not really set up for the adults to figure out where to go. They'll get into school and they're like feeling lost and trying to figure out where to go. And they just don't want to feel lost or act like they don't know what they're doing. It's kind of like asking for directions. So a lot of them just don't go in.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of dads don't like to ask for directions, so maybe that's part of it. I think another part of it may be oftentimes there's more dads working than moms, and that dads have to be involved at work. But I know that, I guess your boss lets you, with your job, to sometimes take off work and go on field trips or parties, etc. What would you tell a dad who has a boss that says, no, you got to be here 9 to 5?
Well, in a case like that, I'd say you still get some vacation time a year, and I'd suggest take a day off if you can and just spend it with your class because you'll get to see things from your kid's perspective. A good example of that is when my daughter went into kindergarten, she was coming home telling me these stories that made absolutely no sense at all. And I was thinking to myself, well, my daughter doesn't usually make stuff up, but she leaves out that key piece of information that lets it make sense to me. So I emailed her teacher and said, hey, kind of just come in and spend the day with the class, kind of see what's going on. And the teacher was excited. So I went in and I actually took one day off work and spent it with her class. And within 5 or 10 minutes of being there, all the stories she was telling me at home started to click together. For example, they had KNN. Well, the adult brain goes, is there a kid's version of CNN? And turns out it's really just a closed circuit TV that the kids do to do their daily announcements. And with that being there, I never would have figured that out. Even if your boss isn't willing to let you take the time off, you can schedule a vacation day. Even that one day, it'll enlighten you a lot in what's happening with your kids. And it means a lot to them to be there, even if it's just once in a while.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, one day can be a big impact, or even just like 2 or 3 hours. Because if you never visit, you really don't know what it's like. If you can go and you can see actually what the classroom looks like, you can see kind of what her teacher looks like and how she acts maybe, and what the other students are, how they're interacting. You get an idea then for what she goes to each day. But if you never ever visit, then it's just left to your imagination.
Exactly. Such a big difference when your kid's talking about a problem at school. If you've been there even once, you can kind of understand the problem and give them better advice and feedback.
I hope you enjoyed listening to Jeff there. Remember, any involvement you have will help communication. If you're serious about protecting your kid, again, it all comes back to communication. There's no excuse to be ignorant.